All right, check 1, 2. Let's move this there. All right, so sorry about that, guys. I was had a little issue getting started here, but I'm gonna start the live session here in just a second. I'm just setting up a couple things. And let's see. There it is. There's the SE-02. Yay! Okay, let's just see. So this should be working. Hey, Doscos, what's up, brother? Hey, no problem, man. I'm just getting a few things set up here. I'll have a more comprehensive review and demonstration a little later. I'm just getting to kind of know the synth a little bit, and I'm going to do a little comparison with it and the MiniMoog Model D as well. So that'll be coming up soon. But tonight, since it's live stream night, I'm going to mess around here. All right, let's see. And is this... Okay, good. That looks good. All right, cool. So I'm going to get started here. Just a moment. Oh, what's happening, folks? It's a live stream. It's Sunday night. How you doing? It's Marshall. Thanks for tuning into the show. It's been a long time awaiting, but today we have the SE-02. Yeah, from Roland. I've had this a couple days. I actually got it on Tuesday this week, but I was out of town and came back on Wednesday. But then I've been sick the rest of the week, and then now I'm feeling better, and yeah, I've been able to kind of play around with this thing here. So basically, my first impressions are this thing looks fantastic. The knobs are a little small, but not anything too bad. The only thing is some of the pots that snap, like to select your waveforms and things like that, those kind of have, those are the ones that look like they've got a little bit of wibble wobble to them, as Nick Bat would say, little wibble, but not bad. And they are a little hard to turn. You know, so if you got any, you know, if your fingers are a little slippery, this might be a bit of a pain. Other than that, though, everything else is great. The only other thing I wish that they would have done is the volume knob is on the back. And I kind of wish that was on the front panel. So other than that, though, no complaints. This thing's great. It sounds really good. I'm going to do some kind of just noodling around here tonight, and I'll have a more full review coming up and a comparison with the Model D, the MiniMoog Model D, which will be fun. So we got Doscos is in the chat, so let's give a shout out to him. Thanks for joining. I know it's late, so yeah. All right, so let's check this thing out. I've been kind of doing a little bit of playing around. Now the bass lines on this thing are really great. You know, well, the synth is great for creating bass patches. I believe there's 4 preset banks and then, or 3 preset banks and 1 user bank, if I remember correctly. The presets you cannot overwrite, from what I understand, and then just the user bank, which is, I believe, 128 patches or something like that. You can overwrite those. So, and the sequencer and stuff I've played with a little bit, but not really in depth. The other thing that's kind of shitty, I'll show you guys this. So the manual, it does come with the manual, but it looks like this. It's one of these ridiculous pamphlets that you need a magnifying glass to see. Like I can't freaking read that, you know? So at least they included something, but honestly, this is almost useless for me. So yay. So I downloaded a MIDI implementation chart off of the Roland website. There's probably a manual on there. I couldn't find it yet, but I'm sure there's something on there I can download. We got Adamski. What's up, man? Oh, you're in the UK. Well, good. This morning for you. It's probably, what, like 7 a.m., 6 a.m., something like that? Cool. Well, yeah, let's do some farting around on this thing. I'm going to have to mute my mic to do some playing around. I was kind of trying to teach myself how to play Funky Town, if you guys remember that disco track from back in the day. So let's see if I can maybe play that a little bit and not screw it up too bad. And I did program a little beat, so I'm going at like 120 BPM on Ableton here. I'm getting all confused. So yeah, in Ableton, I've got a little beat programmed, and we can just play that, and we're good. All right, so that was one that I had recorded earlier. So we're going to wipe all this out and then just kind of start over and play around. I'll go through some of the presets on here and everything. This preset in Bank 166 is the one that I'm using for this. It sounds pretty Moogish. So I dig it. And that's probably not sound too good with the and that's a Funky Town on the Roland SE-02. So let me play through some patches. Let me know if you guys have any questions or anything. This thing's pretty dope. I'm digging this. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Hey guys, let me know if it's got enough volume for you. I can't monitor what's coming into the stream, so let me know if I need to pump up the volume at all. How much does it weigh? That's a good question. It's probably a couple pounds, maybe. It's not heavy really at all. It does get a little warm, but again, it's analog, so it's going to kind of heat up like analog components will. So, what else do we have? Okay, good. So the volume's good. Groovy. Just want to make sure it wasn't too quiet or anything. The DK01, I think, the little chassis that you can get for this, where you can kind of pop it up at an angle. I did order one of those, but they were back ordered, so I probably won't have that until later this next week here. So that'll be nice, because then I can kind of get it and look at it without having to lean over the thing. So that's definitely an essential. Either get that or the keyboard dock for it. I would recommend. Okay, a bit more volume. All right, let me dial that in for you guys then. So Dasgas asks, What is it powered by? A wall wart. Yes, there is a Roland power supply. It's not really a wall wart. I think it's one of those. It's like an adapter thing. So the brick part. It's got like a brick, but I think that the connection is a regular, just connector. It does have auto tune, so it will tune itself, so you don't have to worry about any of that, which is nice. So yeah, I'm digging it. All right, so I think again, let me know if the sound is good. I'm gonna just kind of noodle around with some presets, and I'll check in with the chat room here periodically, answer any questions. Like that one is literally shaking my house. Like, so if you've got good monitors, that patch 8 is pretty deep. That's crazy. dope. Yeah, this thing is really nice sounding. And it's crazy because, you know, it's super tiny, but this is probably the best sounding boutique that I've heard. But again, I'm a big fan of the analog stuff. So, I don't know. It's definitely full, like a very full sound. It's not shitty at all. So with that, I was just using the Ableton Arpeggiator to get an arpeggiator going, which is pretty dope. Does the fact that there's no high-res gain compression bother me? No. I think it's in terms of, are you talking about, like, so if you start tweaking the resonance, you lose the bottom end, right? Is that what you're talking about? For me, it's not a big deal. I mean, if I'm going to use this as a bass synth, most of the time you're not going to have a huge amount of resonance on your bass patches. So if I'm doing stuff like arpeggiators, like what I was kind of doing for more mid or high range stuff, it's not going to matter in terms of the low end. So I don't know. It's not a big deal for me. Let's see what else we got in terms of presets. So I'm going to kind of skim through some of these here as well. That sounds like a Moog, like really close. Yeah, that's pretty wild. So it does have aftertouch as well. It responds to, you know, some modulation or whatever. The thing that's hard to tell about this in the presets is obviously there's no way to know what the knobs are set as. So if you go and you reach for like your filter or your cutoff or anything else, if you bump anything and it's not set where the preset is, you'll hear it kind of jump to the setting, and so there's not like any kind of catch up option or anything where the value does not change until you reach whatever it's set to. That would be kind of nice to have. Yeah. I dig that. That was pretty cool. The effects are decent too. So you got a delay section. This kind of reminds me of the TB-03 actually, except let me look at the TB-03. I think you have, yeah, you got time feedback and overdrive. This one you've got, I can't see that. Time, regen, and amount. But very similar to what's on the TB-03, so that's kind of nice. And it does sound good. Although, for me, you know, when I'm recording stuff, I tend to not use the onboard effects. And I like to use effects in the DAW with plugins or whatever. And you can really hear that cutoff Yeah, the low end just dies as soon as you tweak this resonance. And the thing is the knob is so tiny. I mean, you got a good amount of travel in here, but it feels like you only go like maybe a third of the way, and that low end does drop out pretty heavily. I guess I lied. That's actually 2/3 of the way up on the resonance here. So, and it is kind of hard to see where the little line is here, but I'm probably at about, what is that, 7 out of 10. So yeah, at least on that patch. I don't know if it depends on the patch. I wonder, let me do some more playing around here. I fucking love this thing. Overdrive is nice. Yeah, that's my bad. Gain compensation, not gain compression. I can't read. So just so you guys know, the signal path here, I'm just coming in through my patch bay and then into my 003 rack. And on the Ableton channel, I'm not doing any processing. There's nothing on the master bus at all. So this is just raw. But what I want to try, because I love it, is throwing some sidechain compression on here. Although we're going to cheat and we're going to use a plugin for that, just because it sounds fantastic in dance tracks, right? So let's see. We either use LFO tool or we can use the Nicky Romero Sidekick, I think it is. Let me go in here. And Kickstart, that's what it is. This is a nice little plugin. I used to do it the old school way with routing, you know, setting up a separate audio track with a kick basically, and you mute that and you run that into your compressor on whatever tracks you want to sidechain. The problem I ran into, of course, is when you go to bounce those tracks out, you have to like basically disable the sidechain so you get a nice clean recording and then enable the effect after. And it was a lot of extra work. So with this, what I do is when I build my tracks, I will use a plugin like this or LFO tool and do my sidechaining that way. And then when I go to, for example, since I'm capturing this, you know, I'd be recording this off of the SE-02, I'd sequence my Midi, then I would basically create a separate track, freeze that with no effects on it, flatten it into audio, and then reapply the effects, including something like this. And it's just a lot quicker workflow. So. And like that, we're like a famous dance music producer. I really wish it was polyphonic, like playing patches like that, kind of more in the high frequency area. Like if I had two of these, at least get a couple of notes at a time. That would be awesome. It sound really great, I think. So, but yeah, so $500 SE-02. Let's go through a couple more patches. Let's see what else we've got here. We're only on the first bank. I'm gonna just switch over to like bank 2, and we'll just skim through some of that, and then 3, and we'll kind of probably call it a night at that point. So, yeah, let me do that. So yeah, DOSGOS. You can order it with the keyboard dock. I can't remember what it's called. It's a DK something. Yeah, and I think it's $100 for that. Or you can get just it's just like another little case that this can sit in, and you can then adjust the angle which it sits, which is what I've ordered. Because I think that the Arturia key step is the shit, and I would much rather play on something like this than the little key. I think it's 25 keys that the Roland thing comes in. So I like this better. Plus, with this synth, you can see on the surface there's no pitch bend, there's no mod wheel. So with this, you've got those. Although I don't like the touch. I would prefer actual wheels for this, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. And this has a nice action to the keyboard. It's a decent size. It's not too big. Fits on my desk nice. And you got a little extra. You got a little more range on this. So I dig this. Plus it has like CV out and stuff. I haven't tried any of that. And I think there's a sequencer in here too. So a bunch of other stuff. If you were trying to go computerless as well. So anyway. We'll shut this sidechain off, actually. Oh shit, I think I had the mic on there. Sorry about that, guys. That sound like ass. It is nice because when you switch patches, it does switch immediately. There's not any load time, obviously, because it's all analog. But it's nice and smooth. Again, the biggest problem with this, in my opinion, is there's no catch up, man. As soon as you touch something, it's crazy. So that's going to make it difficult, I think, to use live. I guess unless you're using some kind of sequencer or something on the back end, like something like Ableton or whatever, to where you can control, your envelopes or whatever you're recording in terms of parameters. You can also use, obviously, the step sequencer for all that stuff, but that's my biggest problem with it. And I'm not sure if that's something that they can address in an update to the firmware or not. But man, that seems really necessary. So yeah, let me go through a few more here, and then I'll jump off, probably a few more minutes. Oh, Daskos is asking. He's got a lot of VSTs, and he's thinking about getting his first hardware synth. This would be a great start for sure. It's a lot of features on here. It's got the classic, 3 oscillator Moog style design, and the layout. If I was to show you the MiniMoog Model D, it's very, very similar to how this is laid out. This obviously has more features than a Model D, but it's nice workflow. And if you're new to synthesizers, this I think is not a bad one to start with, and the price is not bad either. So, yeah, that's my feeling. There is the Behringer D that's coming out also. I don't have that one, so I can't give you an definitive yes I recommend or no I don't. But that one is only going to be $300, and very similar also. They're all kind of going after the MiniMoog style. Although this to me sounds really Roland-ish, Roland-esque, however you like to say it. It does have some Moog qualities to it, but it doesn't. Other than that one patch that we found, it doesn't really sound like the MiniMoog as much as I had thought maybe it would. But then again, I'm pretty sure if you went after the sounds on the MiniMoog, you could probably get something very, very similar with this. This sound here actually reminds me kind of the Little Fatty or Slim Fatty. That's one of the sounds that I really like to make on Moog synths. This is a lot. It's different, but it's very similar, and that's what it reminds me of. I dig it though. I like that. That sounds so good. I'm really impressed with this. I think that's all we're gonna do for tonight, guys. But yeah, this thing is pretty dope. So if you're on the fence about getting one of these, there's no question. It's a great sounding analog synthesizer from Roland. Those are words in one sentence that are really great for me to say, I think. I just hope this thing sells well so that Roland gets the message that we all still love analog, you know? So, yeah, let's see, in the chat room, let's see. Yeah, the SE-02 has definitely got its own thing going on. I don't think that their goal here was to straight out clone the MiniMoog Model D like Behringer's trying to do. The additional features on here, I mean, I really like the cross-mod stuff on this a lot. And the feedback is really dope. I love it. I think this is fantastic. So I've got no real big issues other than the catch-up thing. I hope that that's something that they can address in a firmware update. Otherwise, I think it's freaking golden, man. All right, well, thanks to the chat room. Appreciate you gentlemen showing up here. If you guys have any questions, catching the stream late, don't forget I do stream live on Sunday nights, so feel free to subscribe and get the notifications. But if you are watching after the fact, you have any questions or any comments, please leave them below, of course. And I'll catch you guys all later. Thanks for tuning in.